how much does ISO 27001 certification cost? Let me give you an ISO 27001 certification cost calculator so you can work this out yourself. And then I'm going to give you a detailed blog and a guide that goes through all of the costs, the hidden costs, the recurring costs, and the various options that you've got, and some quick cheat sheets on how you can reduce those costs. So if you head over to the Hightable website on hightable.io, ISO 27001 certification cost, you're going to get access to this calculator. The calculator, okay, let's give it all of the caveats, right? Every supplier is going to have different pricing model. All of the certification bodies are going to have different pricing models. But to give you a ballpark figure so that you know what you're dealing with, this takes the averages across those. You should always check with all of your suppliers to get the most up-to-date pricing from them, right? So caveat out of the way, right? Let's have a look at what the cost calculator works. What we're going to do is in the cost calculator, we're going to put in the number of employees. Here I'm going to suggest that it's 1 and say, right, how much is this going to cost me? The first thing I can see is that I've got an estimated UKAS fee. The UKAS actually is an accredited certification body fee. All of the accredited certification bodies follow the same framework. So based on the number of employees you've got, they're going to decide how many audit days it's going to take, and then they're going to pretty much multiply that by their day rate, right? So I'm taking an average here of around about $12.50 a day. Some of the players in the market are up to $17.50, $19.50 a day. If you want to know if you want to know the route to the best ones, you want to jump on a call with me, jump on one of my strategy calls, right? But let's take a base figure of around about $12.50. So the cost that you've got, no matter what, is going to be the cost to take the test in effect, right? The cost to do the audit. The minimum audit day is 5-day audit. So the minimum cost to you is going to be $6,250. Yes, there are nuances on that. They can reduce that by up to 10-15%, but you wanted to know the rough cost to take the test, $6,250. When it comes to the implementation, the calculator is giving you an approach. It's showing you the different routes from the toolkit. So I am the author of the Ultimate ISO 27001 toolkit. Over 5,000 businesses have got themselves certified using my toolkit. Everything you need, including training and one-to-one support from me. But if you go the Toolkit route, you can see that your year one cost, your actual implementation cost is going to be around about £500. Add on top of that your UKAS fees, you're going to be hitting around about $6,750. It's going to give you an average across SaaS platforms, all right? There are many out there. For example, you know, we've got Vanta, Drata, ISMS Online, 6clicks, Conformio, you know, every High Comply, every day there's a new one of these platforms out there. They all have varying price models, so if that interests you, you speak to them, but on average they're around about £1,000 a month. So we're going to take a platform fee of £12,000, add on the audit fee, and you can see that for a SaaS platform you're looking at about 18,300, give or take. And then you can go the consultant route. So for year one, going with the consultant route, consultants fees normally around about the £15,000 mark. They're going to do some build, some implement, some guidance on the Annex A controls. Potentially they're going to sit in on the test with you as well. So it could be a good investment. But we can see that that cost is around about £21,000 for a year one cost. Then the more interesting part of that is, let's look at this over 3 years. So on a 3-year cost model, going with a toolkit where you own your ISMS, right? Compliance happens where work happens. You own your ISMS, you're using the tools that you use day in, day out. You're just adopting the principles. Your total 3-year cost is going to be $10,900. If we go with a SaaS platform route, okay, that's a recurring revenue, right? It's a recurring subscription. So £12,000 a year, you're going to be hitting 46,400 over a 3-year. And with a consultant, again, depending on what services you take, let's assume we take the minimal services from them, you're going to be looking at 25,400. But that assumes that you're not doing ongoing work, right? You know, if you're going to add in there them doing the internal audits, them sitting in on the external audits and additional services, and that fee is going to go up. In my experience, typically £40,000 to £60,000 for an outsourced consultant to fully take care of it on an annual basis. So you can see, right, there's some price prohibitive elements to 27001 certification, primarily driven by the accredited certification bodies. These accredited certification bodies are setting the minimum number of audit days at 5 audit days, irrespective of the scope of your ISMS, irrespective of the SOA controls, right? If you don't take all 93 controls, they're still charging you to audit them. So we can have a little look, we can have a play around with that. There are I give you the table in the blog that shows you can go through that and see exactly what it is, the guidance that they've got. But let's have a play around with that. If I've got a company of 15 people, the costs start to get a little bit more scary. So for a 15 organization, you can see those SaaS platform costs are approaching the 50 grand over a 3-year period. And again, those consultant fees are static, but it really does depend on what it is that you're getting for that. The toolkit option is, well, you bought the ISMS, right? You bought it, you took the training, you joined the Q&As, you joined the one-to-ones, everything's working fine. So your costs remain at the basic level static. So that's the cost calculator. Head along to the website, have a little look through, play around with it and get an indication and a feeling of what it is that you might be looking at when it comes to your certification costs. And then you can take a deeper dive. So in this deeper dive, what I'm going to do is I'm going to break that down for you. So I'm breaking it down into all of the various components. I'm looking at what the changes are to the certification cost, why they changed. I'm going to look at preparation cost, implementation cost, internal cost, ongoing cost. I'm going to give you the top 5 hidden costs and how you can avoid them, common errors when you're building your certification expenses and trying to get this across to management and secure that budget. I'm going to give you the tactics that people use successfully to reduce those certification costs. And then I'm going to break that down by 3 specific industries, right? These are the ones that I deal with the most, which is startups, tech startups, AI companies, micro businesses and small businesses. And then at the end of the article, I'm going to give you over 50 detailed FAQs, the questions and answers that people have asked me over the years about certification cost. Anything that you need to know is going to be within there. To top that off, you may have seen already, I've done a simple explanation of ISO 27001 costs in a video. That is on my YouTube channel. You can click that video and it goes through and it explains the content pretty much of this blog in a simple way that if you're not in this environment, hopefully that you can understand. So I'm Stuart Barker, the 27001 Ninja, the author of the ISO 27001 Toolkit, the ultimate toolkit for ISO 27001 certification. This is how much does ISO 27001 certification cost in 2026 with a pricing guide, detailed guides to the cost that you're potentially going to incur to give you the most knowledge so that you can make the most informed decision, and a calculator that gives you a rough ballpark figure of what you're looking at depending on how big you are and the implementation route that you go. Thank you for watching. Until the next video, peace out.